Hello and welcome again, listeners. I am your presenter, Ms. Brihannia White, and today I am really excited to continue our podcast, Modern Technology for Inclusive Education, a Caribbean Consideration. In this week's episode, we will look at another disruptive technology, augmented reality, AR. As someone who has introduced her secondary school students to augmented reality at various club meetings, I have witnessed this technology's wonder and captivating nature. Therefore, it was easy for me to do the necessary readings and experiments to share with you how AR can be used for inclusivity in your classroom. So let's get right into it. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development focus on ensuring that no one is left behind, provides a unique opportunity to create more inclusive and equitable societies. Let us agree that information and communication technologies, ICTs, have increased educational coverage. It offers diverse learning experiences that impact learning processes differently. Mobile technology, M-learning, augmented reality, AR, virtual reality, VR, simulations, gamification, and learning analytics are all evidence of this. Likewise, recent technological developments, and more so the COVID-19 pandemic, have led to mobile devices being used more frequently in education. It leads to extreme benefits for children with disabilities or diverse educational needs. Let us zero in on augmented reality to achieve educational inclusion. What is it and why AR? Augmented reality AR is an interactive 3D experience that combines a view of the real world with computer generated visual elements and sound. Other sensory stimuli may include smell and touch. You may be already familiar with AR. Have you ever used your smartphone or laptop to digitally try on glasses or clothes? It automatically appears on you as you move. If so, you've had an AR experience. It behaves the same way as Snapchat face filters. When your body moves, the item reacts in sync, responding to your movements, measurements, and environments that appears realistic. This makes AR a favorable strategy to enable processes of educational inclusion since it facilitates multiple means of representation, action, and engagement for students in the learning process. Technically, the use of AR as an educational technology regards the needs of all students, including those with disabilities and diverse educational needs. AR applications typically run on mobile devices such as tablets and smartphones. In my experience, these devices support educational inclusion since they are relatively cheaper and more accessible for students in more marginalized and disadvantaged communities. However, in my readings, AR installed on desktop computers and webcams is used for caring for children with autism spectrum disorders, ASD, or intellectual disabilities. Those with hearing loss or vision impairment and people with autism can benefit from devices mounted on their heads. Deaf students in mainstream schools may use glasses with AR to facilitate communication. I am very keen to note that in December 2021, the Organization of American States, OAS, in alliance with Meta, promised to train more than 10,000 creators in augmented reality in the Caribbean and Latin America. Potential applicants who are educators are challenged to go one step further and apply pedagogical practices for inclusive education. So, this training opportunity can be a step towards bringing about much needed digital transformation and upskilling in our education systems in the Caribbean and Latin America. So, what advantages does AR hold for educational inclusion? For me, AR catches the interest of students with disabilities or special educational needs, including those with auditory and visual impairment, autism, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder ADHD, and dyslexia. This specific is important when planning inclusive education. Do you know that teachers and parents of deaf children prefer using multimodal resources in learning scenarios? Accordingly, AR provides a pertinent opportunity to facilitate the learning process. An example is combining AR technology such as augmented video, images, and audio with speech recognition techniques. A screen can display readable text in AR, allowing the deaf to read and better understand what is communicated. Facial expressions allow capturing what the narrator said without the need for knowing sign language. The application of AR provides greater motivation, commitment, and a pleasant experience in the immersion of the educational process. In another AR study on children with hearing impairment, the objective was to improve their ability to communicate visually and receptively. It applied a portable communication jacket called T Jacket with augmented reality. Now, a T Jacket is a remote controlled wearable technology vest that helps sensory seeking children and adults to settle down quickly and improve attentiveness. The jacket applies deep pressure when triggered to simulate a hug and allows sensory over responsive individuals to take control and cope in situations where they may feel stressed and anxious. Sensor technology with AR confirmed improvement in understanding, communication, and comfort in expressing feelings. AR offers exciting and fun teaching aids for students with special needs as it catches their attention. For students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder ADHD, autism, Down syndrome, digital games with AR assist the development of logical skills. Augmented reality makes it possible for them to understand concepts faster and better. In science education among young learners, a shortage of experimentalism, understanding of abstract concepts, or little or no visible concepts present gaps in learning. To increase students' attention and awareness, AR increases the information surrounding real world objects by creating 3D images that pop out of the tablet and smartphone screens. Students tend to become more curious and excited by this feature. The benefits of AR are astounding. Other noted benefits in the field include helping with short term memory, efficiency in the learning process, development of cognitive skills, the student centered nature of technology, reinforcement of student attention, enjoyment in the training process, the exploration and easy technological use by the student, the satisfaction generated for the student, and the most realistic perception provided. How costly is AR? AR provides tools for rapid and low cost presence, and therefore it becomes an excellent tool to support processes in the school. Importantly, implementing AR in the classroom is low cost. While there's overwhelming evidence for the use of AR, I must point out some of its limitations. There is a limited number of subjects in the sample size in the various studies, understandably so. As in a typical classroom, there may be few persons with apparent disabilities or diagnosed learning difficulties. The preparation and planning of learning experiences with AR and what are the internet requirements must be rigorous. Students with disabilities, either physical or mental, should not be overwhelmed with technical problems. These must be minimized and controlled when using the applications to avoid feelings of frustration, anxiety, and stress. In this sense, more research on using mobile AR in education with special education needs is needed. Although using mobile devices in the educational field is not a recent technological innovation, more research on using them with diverse groups in inclusive education is warranted. I will emphasize the need for qualified staff, especially teachers and assistants, to have basic knowledge for adopting ICTs. In some cases, students with special needs do not know how to use the technology needed and may require training in digital competence as well. Additionally, the level of complexity may increase for the creation of augmented content. Therefore, it is imperative that planning and prior training be included in any AR adoption. We must be mindful that the novelty effect of AR could produce bias in the research results. This could be related to the students' fixation on technology and consequently paying little attention to educational content. Good use of time and didactic methodologies is recommended to avoid distractions. It is agreed upon that more research is needed to prove AR acceptability in school environments. In the case of inclusion, research should consistently be expanding and looking for alternatives when using AR to avoid excluding special needs, marginalized, and disadvantaged individuals or groups. To conclude, while there is a call for more research in the field, evidence suggests that AR positively impacts students' educational experience. AR enhances collaborative learning, improves satisfaction, and increases motivation in students. It boosts confidence, increases commitment and interest, and provides opportunities for self learning. For students with disabilities, among the most representative advantages reported were motivation, interaction, and generating interest. These findings show that AR is a technology that favors inclusive education. Here ends this week's episode on augmented reality for inclusive education. I invite Caribbean EdTech researchers and like minded educators to consider augmented reality in educational inclusion development. This is your presenter, Brianna White. Do look forward to my next insightful episode where I look at other emerging and disruptive technologies for inclusive education. Be safe out there. Bye.